What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports here at the voice of college football. We're going to give you a very early projection for what the Georgia Bulldogs record will be in 2023. Here were the projections from last year. Of course, Georgia was 12-0, and we're just looking at the regular season here in this video. They were 12-0. Our projection had them at 11-1, favored in every game, but just because of the schedule, had them potentially losing one game. My personal prediction was 12-0. I did have Georgia going undefeated. I had them losing to Alabama in the SEC championship. Of course, Alabama didn't even make it. But yeah, 12-0 is my prediction. The FBI projection was 11.6 and 1.3. Now that would include the SEC championship game. So they had them, roughly 11-1 or possibly 12-1 with a loss in the SEC championship, or 12-1, I guess, because they had them almost guaranteed to go to the SEC championship. So if you count that, 12-1. So either 12-0 or 11-1 in the regular season. The over/under was actually at 10.5, which seems like really, really easy money. But Alabama was also at 10.5, and I think you would have thought that was easy money as well, and it was not. Remember, Alabama did lose 2 games, so that's why you got to watch it when you're making these. When you're going against that over/under win total. But 10.5 was the win total there, and they easily surpassed that. So here's the schedule again for 2023. Not that tough of a schedule. We'll see what the projection here is. This is the scale that we use. If the game, I think, is less than 20%, it's in red. Over 80%, it's in green. And then we've got 20 to 29%, 71 to 80%. Those are games where I think the spread will be double digits. 30 to 39 and 61 to 70. Those percentages are games where I think the spread will be around a touchdown, 6, 7, 8, 9 points. And then if it's going to stay in the white here, 40 to 60%, that's a game where I think the spread will be 5 or less, pretty much. So that's kind of the scale that we use here, just going off of how good we think these teams are going to be. Obviously, it's early, and the rosters are still evolving for a lot of these teams, but this is just kind of grouping the teams into different categories and giving you a rough projection. So we'll start with the easy wins, the green games. We got UT Martin, Ball State, UAB, and Vanderbilt. And I mean, honestly, you might could put some more games in the green. The way I'm doing it this year, if it's blue or green, though, those are considered wins, and then we'll average out the other games. But yeah, Vanderbilt, probably the easiest win in the SEC. I mean, you could make an argument that Kentucky should be in the green, Missouri should be in the green, Georgia Tech should be in the green. You could definitely make that argument. I don't know. But again, blue is double digits. So green, we're talking about games where the spread's going to be like 20 or more. So yeah, some of these other games that might be that high. But Georgia does have a new quarterback this year, and there are some question marks. They're still obviously super talented, maybe the most talented roster once again this year. But yeah, I think those 4 games, you can consider those to be pretty much automatic blowouts. Then we'll go to the games in blue, and this is almost the rest of the schedule here. These are games where, I think the spreads will be 10 to 20 points, somewhere in that range. South Carolina on the road at Auburn could be a little tricky just because it's a road game, rivalry, and we don't really know too much about Auburn right now with the new coach. Kentucky is there. Florida, you feel like, again, I know it's a rivalry and everything, but Georgia should be favored by double digits again there. Missouri, same thing. Ole Miss, Georgia Tech. It's just hard to imagine Georgia losing any of these games. If there was going to be a game, I think it would probably be that Auburn game, just because it's on the road, and Auburn could turn out to be a really good team. Like I said, it's very hard to say that this early on, but that would be probably the biggest test out of these games in the blue. South Carolina might be the best team that they play out of these teams, but they get that one at home, so I feel pretty confident there. But like I said, I think the spread will be double digits for all of these games, and so we're just going to go ahead and count all of those as wins. And then you've got the game against Tennessee. Was kind of back and forth on where this game should wind up, but I think it's safe to put this one in the purple. I think Georgia will be favored by about a touchdown. I would just guess maybe an 8-point favorite in that game. It's late in the season. It's on the road. I'm expecting Tennessee to be a top 10, at least top 15 team again this year. So that will be a tough game. But remember, last year we thought it was going to be a good game, and Georgia blew them out. So I think Georgia will be favored there, like I said, by about a touchdown. And that's the only game that I could see them really potentially losing. If there was another game, like I said, it might be that Auburn game. But I think they'll be favored by a lot in that one. So you average this all out, and it's going to put them over 11.5 wins because, again, we're counting the blue and green games as wins, and that means that you're going to round that up to 12-0. So a 12-0 projection for Georgia. If Tennessee was a 50-50 game, then the projection would be right there at 11-1, but went ahead and put that one in the purple, so that's why I think the projection, a very fair projection here for Georgia, given the schedule, is 12-0 in 2023.